Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fast Guard News. I'm Dwight Gibson,
I'm Roderick Payne.
and today's conversation is going to be briefly about having security in higher crime areas. So, when you say higher crime areas, what immediately comes to mind?
I mean those places that like when you're coming home and you pass by a gas station, there's like 30 guys hanging out front, and that's the only gas station in the area. And as a man, you're nervous to get out of your car for what might happen to you if you get out. I'm talking about those places. I'm talking about a lot of the convenience stores, like at 1 or 2 a.m., which all people say that nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Or my mom used to say, there's nothing open after 2 a.m. but legs. so when you think about those places, I think about some places that, you're forced to go into because either you need gas or you want to get a drink and that's the only thing open. And you find yourself in there, and every time I've gone into one of those places, I'm armed, but you can't shoot everybody. And it's like, why don't these places spend a couple dollars and get security? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Gas stations, especially 24-hour gas stations, 24-hour anything. If you got a McDonald's that's there with 24 hours, it's going to attract the people that are out 24 hours. So I just don't know why the owners or the people, we get a lot of calls in mid-city areas, Denver, Vegas. There was a few calls in Vegas at McDonald's areas out there, New York, Miami.
Well, there was something that just happened. I think it was a gas station attendant that got shot. Like,
oh
up
yeah,
close.
yeah. I got the video here. I seen that one. I think I sent it the other day, but hold on. Yeah, you see in the video that the guy came in. It doesn't look like the guy even took anything. He just shot the guy in the chest. And the guy survived, and they showed in the video where he pulled the slug out and all this stuff. But, like, think about that. What are they paying gas station attendants right now?
I have no clue.
Minimum
But
wage?
it can't be right. It can't be.
Yeah.
But most, not most, but some gas station attendants are the actual owner of the gas station.
Correct. Just like liquor stores, a lot of these smaller mom and pop, not like the larger ones, but the smaller mom and pops are most of the time it's the owner and they're working.
Right.
And it behooves me to think, like, we've all seen movies where people come in the convenience store and the liquor store and they rob it and they shoot everybody. But this was in real life in Southern Cal, and you think about like how easy a life could be just taken away from you for what? I mean, how much money they got in the register is not like robbing a bank, which is another place that I'm always surprised that I don't see security in.
Some banks have security, but most banks you go to, you don't really see a security guard.
It should be, so in our opinion, in my opinion, it should be security at these locations, mainly because you got people coming in and out and there's large volumes of money. That's like the recipe for crime.
Right.
Of course, you go to night establishments, bars, clubs. They all going to have security because they understand the liability. But if you're open at the same time as these bars and clubs, what makes you think that these same people that come and patronize the bars and clubs that got into a fight in there, that just did a drive-by, aren't coming to your gas station to cause trouble over there?
Especially gas stations that are truck stops where a lot of truckers and a lot of traffic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got
we
the
have
lot lizards.
we have a couple clients that are gas stations with truck stops, and they called us, thankfully, once they were having some issues, and then we got on site. We got armed guards at those locations, and we were able to mitigate a lot of those issues they were having.
You know the question I have for all of these people, like banks, convenience stores, gas stations, if your location was so safe, then why do you put your attendant in bulletproof glass? If it's such a safe scenario, like what about the patrons and the people patronizing your business? They can't stand behind the bulletproof glass, so they're out there in the elements.
They have a responsibility to provide a safe place for people to shop.
A fiduciary responsibility is all on you. So just a word to the wise owners of these establishments. Every bank should have a security guard. I don't know why they don't. Supermarkets. I never considered supermarkets as a location that needs security, but they have quite a few people run in there and try to do certain stuff, people acting crazy. Remember, everybody's allowed in a supermarket. So, when everybody's allowed, anything can happen. There's no metal detectors going into supermarkets. I shot with my gun. I see other people. I had to stop a guy the other day. He was reaching up for some shit. I was like, hey, man, your gun's hanging out. Like, Think about the people that are in the supermarket together. It could be people from the guy that's living in the street that just got $20 to come spend
Right.
to you with your children in there trying to shop. And it just creates that type of scenario. But that's the question I would have. Like in Publix or any of these other big stores, you don't see any glass or bulletproof glass or anything like that.
Nope.
But in these convenience stores, because they know, they just don't want to spend the money for the most part. Now, some of them are smartened up. Like you said, we have a few clients that understand maybe based on something happening or based on something almost happening, the amount of liability. That's what security does. It's you, liability, us, right? So we try to get in front of the liability for you so that you don't have to experience the full girth of that liability, because girth could be a hurtful thing. You don't want to put yourself out there or put your customers out there, because the first thing, what happens when somebody gets shot? They're gonna sue.
Yeah.
What happens when somebody gets killed? Their family's gonna sue. Yeah. And even more than that, like, it's not about the loss of money. It's like, man, if you would have just spent a little bit extra, like, people gonna pay their insurance because they have to.
Right.
These gas stations are gonna have gas and petroleum because they have to. It takes away the nature of them being a gas station. So think about security should be, hey, I must have security especially if I'm gonna be over 24 hours.
Yeah.
I think it's just a must-have. Banks, we get a lot of calls from banks when there was one situation where we had apparently it was a lady that was going around, one of the note robbers, like pass them a note.
Yeah,
up in
the Northwest.
Northwest, yeah. So, she's passing notes like, hey, give me all the money, I'm going to blow this place up. And she hit all of the same type of banks, like all in the same network, so they wanted security out there. It shouldn't take that for you to have at least a guard out there. Yeah. Sometimes it's a deterrent. Like we say all the time, if you see a guy outside dressed like a commando or like a G.I. Joe, you're not going to want to go in there because, your skills may not be up to par.
Right.
But if you don't see anything and it's wide open and there's potentially hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars in there and you're completely broke, you might take a chance at it. So if you don't take anything else from this episode, what you should be taking is, what creates a criminal? Opportunity. So, nobody's a criminal until a Brinks truck turns over in front of them and money goes all over the road.
Right.
It's some people go and grab the money and not even realizing if you're on camera, now you're a criminal according to state law or federal law. So, just word to the wise: if you have a location and you're allowing people to come into your location and patronize your business, get security. Stop being cheap. It's going to cost you in the long run. We have the receipts. We have the receipts to show the lawsuits that come along from security and what happens. So let us step in front of that liability for you. Let us lower the amount of liability that you may be exposed to. Hire security.
You can reach us online at www.fastguardservice.com or by phone at 844-254-8273. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.
Have a nice one.